Good evening and welcome to the pre-concert chat for Mandala, the beauty of impermanence. My name is Suba Sankaran. Mandala is a universal symbol meaning circle in Sanskrit. It is a spiritual and ritual symbol in Hinduism and Buddhism, representing the universe. The circular designs symbolize the idea that life is never ending and everything is connected. In this concert and in every song, whether sacred or secular, you will experience a mandala within the music itself, be it as a singing round, a ground bass, an ostinato pattern, a recurring rhythmic cycle, or within the lyrical or poetic context. From ancient to modern, spanning several centuries and styles, the repertoire ranges from Hildegard von Bingen to Joni Mitchell, Schubert to Steve Reich, and Monteverdi to Sting. You will hear music from India, the US, Canada, the UK, Europe, and Iran, original compositions and arrangements, and Sufi poetry as well. I'm so excited to have an embarrassment of riches with the artists on the show, and I want to thank them for the many gifts that they brought forth. These artists include Confluence Concerts artistic producer Larry Beckwith and artistic associates Andrew Downing and Marion Newman, as well as Gordon Gerrard, Bijan Sepanji, my husband Dylan Bell, as well as my father, master drummer Trichy Sankaran, and my dear friend and bandmate Ed Hanley, who makes a cameo appearance playing a singing bowl, as well as having captured and edited most of the video on this show. But first, a chat with Larry Beckwith about how the show came to pass. So I am here with none other than Larry Beckwith, who is the artistic producer of Confluence Concerts. Welcome, Larry. Lovely to have you with me.
Thank you, Suba.
It's a pleasure to be chatting with you about this because it's thanks to Confluence Concerts that I had this opportunity to start delving into the subject of the mandala and in all its glory and symbolism, and also how it directly affects different elements in music making and composition. So one of the reasons I thought it would be interesting to chat with you was to basically say, to basically ask how you came about this idea of the mandala when you approached me many moons ago.
Yeah, I mean it's the short answer to that is I don't remember, but because as you rightly point out, I mean I think we started talking about this about a year and a half ago, I guess now.
Yes.
It was to be the culmination of our second season last May, and then for obvious reasons we had to postpone things. I mean, it came out of several ideas that I had, several not completely formed ideas that I'd had when we started Confluence, because one of the germs or sources of the idea of Confluence was to open up the stage to all of the different traditions and musical styles and avenues that we find here in Toronto. And I'd been working in up until that point in in one of those traditions, in the mask tradition, which has several sources as well. So that was very interesting. But even the idea of Confluence even opened it up even more. And so I knew in a very general way of the idea of the mandala as being, you know, the power of the circle and the idea of the circle of life and the circle of nature, and I knew that that was a powerful symbol in many different traditions, specifically in India, from India. To be perfectly honest, I first came across the word, or I first sort of thought of the meaning of the word through a composition of my father's that I heard probably 30 years ago, and then helped produce again in the early 2000s, called "In the Middle of Ordinary Noise," which was an investigation into the very rich musical life of the great scholar Northrop Frye. and he referred to music as the mandala of the ear, and that phrase kind of stuck with me, and I remember that piece as being, in its own way, an investigation of the beginning, middle, and end, and then beginning again, and the beginning being the end, and the end being the beginning, that we find in so much of music. Music is constantly turning in on itself in a way, and I think musicians know that, but I think we all know that unconsciously when we listen to music. That's why we're drawn to it in a certain way.
Yes.
So I kind of tucked that idea away, I guess, and when you and I started working together more closely, I thought, I wondered whether it might be an idea that would resonate with you as the source of an idea for a concert.
Beautiful. Well, I'm really excited as to how it all did eventually come together. Um, yeah, we had those high hopes back in May of 2020 that we would be able to perform this show live, and in its place, we created kind of a placeholder collaboration offering to audiences near and far with the Mandala collaboration. I think that's the title we gave it at that time,
Hmm. Hmm.
that we put out on the day that the show was supposed to happen. And this was a collaboration between many of the artists that you're going to experience this evening. And I love the idea that Confluence Concerts is has always been about the merging of different types of music, different types of musicians, different art forms, different styles. It's really fitting that we're doing a concert like this that is so very eclectic, like every other program with Confluence. I absolutely love it. I find it really tickles my ears and my senses in general. And this is definitely one of those shows where you're going to experience not just music from different styles and centuries, but you're going to get different spins on music that you may know, or more popular music that you may know. You're going to get this sense of the cycle or the circle in so many different musical forms, which I find very enticing. And as you said, that is the nature of human beings. That is the nature of nature itself.
Hmm.
And it's the nature of music to not just evolve, but revolve as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, I know that now, even though we're recording this conversation ahead of time, you still haven't heard or seen the entire program, which is also very exciting to me.
That is.
It's like Christmas is happening all over again. But you do, I know you do get the sense, just based on the composers that are being represented here, everyone from Hildegard von Bingen, Purcell, Steve Reich, my father, Trichy Sankaran, who's one of the performers tonight, he's offered his composition here too. Joni Mitchell, Monteverdi. Um, did you expect that when I finished curating this concert that it might turn into something like this? Did you have expectations, or was it a blank slate for you?
Well, I operate on trust a lot of the time, and I even with the idea of the mandala, I guess I had I sometimes don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, but one has trust that it's going to be fascinating, and and that's the great thing with working with our team, as you know, is that you and Marion and Trish and Andrew are such open-minded and curious, in the best sense of the word,
Mm.
musicians, that yes, I did expect that it would be. I certainly expected that it would be eclectic, and I know just of the list of composers and artists that you have named. The one thing that they all have in common is this deep kind of searching, probing aspect to their work of always wanting to do something new, I guess, and make it connect to musical tradition. So that sense of novelty and also the that anchor that musical traditions provide for us. I think that's a lovely combination too. Yeah, I'm very excited about to see the finished product, and I have, as you mentioned, I've been part of some of the recordings, and yeah, I know it's going to be great.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I think we're going to move on from here to speaking a little bit more about the show and also about the poet and author and land artist Sheniz Janmohamed, who is going to take us through something very exciting. It offers some audience engagement and participation, and I'm really looking forward to that. But thank you for speaking with me now, Larry.
Thank you very much, Suba.
And now an introduction to the final guest artist on this Mandala program, Sheniz Janmohamed. She is an author, artist educator, spoken word artist, and land artist, and she's about to take you through the creation of a nature mandala. This is a beautiful creative practice, and to me, this is a meditation and a great primer to set you up for the concert at hand. Sheniz's work will be seen and heard during the concert itself as well. Before we get to the nature mandala, I encourage you to take a moment to make some room on your table and collect some materials in and around your home. And now over to Sheniz, whose voice will be your guide through the making of a nature mandala.
Welcome everyone, my name is Sheniz Janmohamed, and I'm grateful to be here with you today for this pre-concert prompt. So, as you know, we have requested you to bring some objects in and around your home. They could be dried leaves, acorns, maybe even a pine cone or two. And the reason for that is we're going to make our own little mini mandalas today. So before we begin, I would like to request that you close your eyes and just reflect on the year that's passed. The challenges, the difficulties, the gifts, and the blessings. And just take a deep breath in and out. And another deep breath in and out. And now I want you to look ahead at the year we are currently in, the year we've just begun. And if there's a word that could serve as an anchor for this year, what is that word? What word comes to mind? You don't have to overthink it. It can just be the first thing that pops into your mind. So when you have that word, I want you to take a look at all the objects you've gathered. And if you haven't gathered any objects, that's okay. You can take a blank piece of paper and your favorite marker or pen. And what I want you to do, for those of you who have an object or a series of objects rather in front of you, is choose an object that represents that word. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that object. Maybe it's the shape of the object that reminds you. Maybe it's the texture, the lightness or the heaviness of it. And you're going to put it at the center of your table or your page. And again, if you don't have an object, you can just write that word at the center of your page. You can hear my object. So I think my object might be a stone. And this stone, as you can see, it has some holes in it. It's porous. And I think it's a wonderful example of my word, which is grounding, but also within that grounding, there's room for breath, for breathing. So I'm just going to put that at the center, or as close to the center as I can. And then what you can do is you can just gently take a look at any of the other objects you might have around you and just start to build around that object, or draw around it if you have a marker and a pen or paper that you're working with. And these are your support words or your support objects to make sure that that anchor word for your year is protected, supported. So for me, as you can see, I'm just building with some leaves, because with grounding, I also want a little lightness, maybe a little fun. And I feel like a lot of people have been finding support in nature. So this could also represent that for me. And you can just continue to build however you like around your main object. And as you can see, we're starting to build a little mandala. And for this mandala, you can make the objects around it, around the center, symmetrical or asymmetrical. It's really up to your own intuition and your creative choices. So I like to play with asymmetry because I'm a perfectionist. So it kind of throws me off when I have to use uneven or imperfect objects or shapes or patterns that aren't quite going in the direction I want them to. And there's something to be learned about that in that process. So you can continue to build your wonderful little mandala during the concert if you feel that there's inspiration while you're listening. You can do that. Or you can just set it aside, take a picture of it, and then return it to nature, or maybe place it somewhere meaningful for you if you're using a pen and paper and drawing. I would recommend that you take the center of your object and keep it again somewhere meaningful for you, maybe a favorite jacket pocket, or even, your desk, somewhere on your desk. So enjoy the concert. I'm going to destroy my mandala now. So we have a blank slate and we can begin again. Thank you.
I hope you were able to participate and enjoyed your mandala making time. Don't forget to take a photo of your creation before you disappear it. Send a copy of the photo to manager@confluenceconcerts.ca. We hope to create a community collage of your spontaneous inventions. And this is a reminder that these beautiful mandala creations are in the moment and then disassembled, giving one the sense that nothing lasts, and so we must enjoy the experience in the moment. That is the hope of this concert. Mandala, the beauty of impermanence. Experience and enjoy this musical journey and audio-visual feast as fully as you can as it happens, and gracefully let it go as it naturally comes to an end. Thank you for joining us, and enjoy the show. Welcome to Mandala, the beauty of impermanence. My name is Suba Sankaran, and I'm the curator and performer in this show, along with some amazing artists: Larry Beckwith, Dylan Bell, Andrew Downing, Gordon Gerrard, Ed Hanley, Sheniz Janmohamed, Marion Newman, Bijan Sepanji, and my father, master drummer Trichy Sankaran. All recordings were created adhering to social distancing protocols and the safety guidelines of the time. Any musical partnerships that you see on stage are existing bubbled groups. We begin by acknowledging the Indigenous peoples of all the lands that we are on today. We would like to take a moment to recognize the importance of these lands which we each call home. While we present this concert on a virtual platform, for all its wizardry, the internet relies on the wires, radio towers, and many physical pieces of hardware located on this land. With this acknowledgement, we reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous peoples and their cultures. We're grateful to live and work on this beautiful site that we call Toronto, that has seen human activity for over 15,000 years. We hope that through our art, we can make meaningful change. This first music offering is a mix of two songs where Vedic mantra from India meets medieval chant from Germany. You might be asking yourself, where's the Mandala connection? Well, the Rig Veda is the oldest of the Hindu scriptures, composed in the 2nd millennium BC in early Sanskrit. The scripture contains more than 10,000 hymns classified into 10 books called mandalas. Then fast forward to Hildegard von Bingen, who was a German Benedictine abbess, writer, composer, philosopher, Christian mystic, visionary, and polymath of the High Middle Ages. Around the year 1135, at age 42, she undertook a series of visionary symbolic paintings in unmistakable mandala form. While she didn't make the illustrations herself, it is thought that she oversaw their production. The pictures were thought to be as strong or stronger than her words themselves. There is a gestalt immediacy, what Hindus refer to as darshan, meaning the simultaneous act of seeing and being seen by a deity. Not only do these two pieces share the monastic mandala, they also share a very similar meaning and translation. Both songs speak of three worlds encircled: the earth, the heavens, the atmosphere. And both songs ask for wisdom. Here now is the Gayatri Mantra and O Virtus Sapientiae.
Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yana Prachodayat. Saviturvarenyam
Hello, everyone. My name is Bijan Sepanji, and the next piece you're going to hear is called The Bird of Zephyr. This piece is really a combination of two separate pieces that I thought would go well together and would capture the concept of mandala a little bit outside the box, I guess. When Suba talked to me and she asked me to come up with an idea, immediately I thought of the Renaissance and Baroque style of music, the chaconne, with the repeating bass line, as something very suitable for that. So I've been a big fan of Monteverdi, the Italian composer from the 16th and 17th centuries, and his Zephyro Torna, a piece by him that's about the wind of Zephyr that is bringing spring and opportunities for romance. It's a very uplifting song, one of my favorite songs actually. And I thought we can do some kind of arrangement of that. And in addition, I thought since this is spring and new beginnings, there is a very famous Iranian song that often it was performed by the great Mohammad Reza Shajarian, who passed away just recently. And it's called Morgh Sahar, which is the bird of dawn. And this piece, it has a really special place in my heart and every Iranian's heart. And I thought this was a very suitable time to do that piece as well. So the two of them together. The Morgh Sahar is about it's a cry for freedom. It's a cry for peace and justice. So I hope you enjoy this kind of mashup. So myself and Larry Beckwith on violins and Andrew Downing on double bass. Thank you.
Turning around the axis of the earth, she spins the wheel of this love. Others sit like stagnant water, questioning the appeal of this love. Even the swimmer will struggle against the waves of the sea. Surrender to its rhythm and drown. What more can you feel of this love? Dig the soil and rubble of your being. Seek until it finds you. This box contains the secret of your secret. Open it. Break the seal of this love. She finds Skizzer in the forest of her heart, her robes drenched with mud. Whirling, whirling into leaves and wind, she turns on the heels of this love.
In the piece Gretchen am Spinnrad by Schubert, Gretchen sits at a spinning wheel. Her spinning wheel is spinning, her thoughts are spinning. The opening statement returns 3 more times throughout the piece in a rondo form. Everything about this is about circles, and including the circles of thought that we put ourselves through when dealing with an issue.
If all be true that I do think, there are 5 reasons, there are 5 reasons we should drink. Good wine, a friend, or being dry, or at least we should be by and by. Or any other reason, or any other reason, or any other reason why, any reason why.
If all be true that I do think, there are 5 reasons, there are 5 reasons we should drink.
If all be
Good
true,
wine,
then I do
a friend,
think there are
or being
5
dry,
reasons, there are
or at least
5
we should be
reasons
by
we should
and
drink.
by.
If all
Good
be true,
wine,
that I
a
do
friend,
think,
or
there
any
are
other
5
being
reasons,
dry,
there
or
are
at least
5
we should be
reasons
by
we should
and
drink.
by.
If all be
Good
true
wine,
that I
a
do
Or
friend,
any
there are
other
5
reason, or
reasons,
any
there are
other
we
5
should
why,
be
and
by
we should
and
try.
by.
If all be
Good
true,
wine,
Or any other
a
reason,
friend,
or any other
or
reason,
being dry,
or any other
or at least we
reason
should
why,
be
any
by
reason
and
why.
by.
If all be true,
Or any
that
other
I do
reason,
think,
or any
there
other
are 5
reason, or
reasons,
any
there
other
are 5
reason
reasons we should drink.
if all be
Good
true
wine,
that I do
a friend,
think, there are
or being
5
dry,
reasons,
or at least we should be by and by.
Good
Or
wine,
any other reason,
friend,
or any other
or
reason,
being dry,
or any
or
other
at least
reason
we
why,
should
any
be by
reason
and by.
why.
or any other reason, or any other reason, or any other reason, why, any reason why.
One, two, three, four, five, six.
Stone by stone, we lay down spirals, life within life, death within death. A center that unravels turns into itself, a center that never moves, yet always spins. Stone by stone, we lay down spirals, life within life, death within death. Rooted in rock and swept away by a single wave, stone by stone, stone by stone, stone by stone, we lay down spirals.
Lehra is a Hindi and Urdu word which literally means a sea wave in English. As sea waves are periodic and repetitive, similarly, the lehra in music represents the repetitive melody that gives a cyclical reference that underpins a drum solo. My father, master drummer Trichy Sankaran, is the leading exponent of the instrument called the mridangam, a barrel-shaped two-headed drum that is the primary percussion instrument of South India. He has composed a lehra for this occasion in D harmonic minor, also known as the Kirvani raga or melodic mode, and in 7/8 time. As a prelude to this piece, Andrew Downing gives us a taksim, a melodic musical improvisation that usually precedes the performance of a traditional Arabic, Greek, Middle Eastern, or Turkish musical composition. In this case, however, it precedes an Indo-Canadian premiere. Here's Trichy Sankaran along with Andrew, Bijan, and Larry on strings.
Come, come towards me, for your friend, faithful forever, I am. Whatever you have, bring to me, for its purchaser, I am. If you are pleased and your heart wants to see the great feat, come near, for the garden, flowerbed, and flower, I am. I am not only the worshipped at the altar, in secret places, musician of drunkards, in winehouse, wine bringer I am. You who go seeking me in seclusion of the monastery, come out of there, for in the marketplace, a buyer I am. Remove the desire for patched dervish coat or gold crown. Then to you, my cap and my robe, the bestower I am. Don't be disheartened or weep at your helplessness. Each place a friend, and of your heart a cherisher I am. How long, like a point, will you draw a circle around you? How long, like a point, will you draw a circle around you? Sit like the center does, because you're encircler, I am. Sit like the center does, because you're encircler, I am. Sit like the center does, because you're encircler, I am. You're encircler, I am. You're encircler, I am. You're encircler, I am.
Throughout this show, you've heard and seen many different manifestations of the mandala concept. In this next piece, we move to technology to illustrate the idea through the art of live looping. Throughout the song, we'll be recording and layering our voices in real time to turn 2 voices into 4 and 4 voices into 8 to create a complex a cappella vocal arrangement right before your eyes and ears. There are no pre-recorded tracks. Everything you hear is being performed and layered live. We hope you enjoy this mashup of This Pretty Planet by Tom Chapin and Fragile by Sting.
This pretty planet spinning through space, your garden, your harbor, your holy place. Golden sun going down, gentle blue giant, spin us around all through the night. Safe till the morning light. Do 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 If blood will flow when flesh and steel are one, drying in the color of the evening sun, tomorrow's rain will wash the stain away. Something in our minds will always stay. Perhaps this final act was meant to clinch a
argument, that nothing comes from violence, and nothing ever could, for all those born beneath an angry star, lest we forget how fragile we are.
On and on the rain will fall, like tears from a star, like tears from a star. On and on the rain will say, how fragile we are, how fragile we are.
This pretty planet spinning through space, your garden, your harbor, your holy place. Golden sun going down, your gentle blue giant, your spin us around. All the
space, your garden, your harbor, your holy place.
Your garden, your harbor, your holy place. Golden sun going down, your gentle blue giant, your spin us around.
On and on the rain will fall, like tears from a star, like tears from a star. On and on the rain will say, how fragile we are, how fragile we are. On and on the rain will fall,
like tears from the stars.
On and on the rain will say, how fragile we are, 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 how fragile we are. How fragile we are, how fragile we are, how fragile we are, how fragile we are.
We're coming to the close of this show. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this concert, and I hope it's allowed you a chance to be transported through time on this mandala journey. I want to also thank all of the artists for bringing this concept to life, and also to Confluence Concerts for affording me the opportunity to explore a concept that I've grown up with and have now had the chance to explore more fully and deeply in various artistic ways. Now we finish with a Joni Mitchell classic, which you may have guessed is Circle Game. Using a carousel as a metaphor, Joni tells the story of a child's journey into adulthood and how we can reflect on the past, but we cannot go back. A poetic end to complement the lasting image of the mandala. Thank you, everyone, and good night.
Yesterday, a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. Fearful when the sky was full of thunder, and tearful at the fall falling of a star.
Then the child moved 10 times round the season, skated over 10 clear frozen streams. Words like, when you're older, must appease him, and promises of someday make his dreams.
And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game.
16 springs and 16 summers gone now. Cartwheels turn to car wheels through the town, and they tell you, take your time, it won't be long now, till you drag your feet too slow, circles down.
And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. So the years been by, and now the boy is 20. Though his dreams have lost some grandeur coming true, there'll be new dreams, maybe better dreams, and plenty, before the last revolving year is through. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game.